Hey everyone, welcome to the PCS-Proof Podcast, where we're covering the vital things you need to know to thrive in every season of military life. I'm your host and milspouse fitness expert, Grace Barnick-Damazo, and I encourage you to join me each week as we dive deep into topics like fitness, wellness, and entrepreneurship as a military spouse so that you can maintain your own sense of identity and purpose, conquering every transition with strength and resilience. As we journey together, you can expect uplifting conversations and insights. We'll share some laughs, and you can count on me to keep it real so that together we can become truly PCS-proof. Now let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the PCS-Proof Podcast, where we talk about navigating the ups and downs of military life while keeping our well-being front and center. It's that time of year again. The government-controlled air conditioning has been turned off in base housing, which can only mean one thing. It's time to prep for winter. Today, we're going to dive into something that I know many of us are feeling right now, including many of my clients, because I talk to them about this day in and day out, and that is the challenge of staying motivated with fitness and our self-care as the days get shorter and life's demands just keep building up, especially with the holidays right in front of us. At the time that I'm recording this, it's about to be Halloween. So when you guys get this, it's going to be Halloween Day, and this is the kickoff for the holiday season. And the days keep getting shorter. It makes it harder to feel motivated. You just want to go and curl up on the couch and just kind of like nest. And I totally get it. I want to start with a bit of a personal story because honestly, I've been feeling this firsthand. This past weekend, my husband and I spent some time away, and I didn't realize how much I needed it. I didn't even touch my laptop the entire time that we were away, which as a solopreneur is not very common. I had no emails, no to-do lists. I just really took an actual break. And wow, it really hit me just how much I needed it. I realized that I've been living with a lot of built-up stress lately. Moving to this duty station a little over a year ago has been really tough. My social support is very different here. My husband's work demands are way higher than before, and that's meant a lot more responsibility on my shoulders with the house, the pets, my work, and everything else. And let me tell you, it's really been building up, and it's showing up in my energy levels, my focus, and even my motivation to get out there and work out. So with the changing season and the darker days setting in, I thought it would be really pertinent, and I wanted to share a few practical ways to reset, adjust, and just take care of yourself during this transitional time. I really believe that the season can be a chance to pause, to check in with yourself, and reframe your routine in a way that supports both your mental and your physical well-being. It's a perfect time to reset. So let's talk about how to make this transition a little easier. I've got 3 to 5 very practical ways to help you stay consistent with your workouts, even when the sun seems to vanish before you even leave work or before dinner time. And if you're like me and a lot of my clients, you might be finding it tough to keep that same level of motivation going when it's already dark by the time you get off of work. So if you're feeling really tempted to skip the gym and just cozy up at home, this episode is for you. All right? So let's jump right in. No time wasted. Let's jump into my first practical tip to stay consistent through this daylight savings transition. Let's start with one of the most powerful changes you can make, and that is to create a powerful morning ritual that's all yours, that's just for you. This morning, I went back to the basics. I got up just a little bit earlier and made my coffee. I spent some time meditating, spent some time reading and just sitting with my thoughts. And it felt like the deep breath that I didn't even realize I needed. This is something that I used to do every morning, and it's with the busyness and craziness of life, it's just kind of gone a little bit to the back burner, and re-implementing that this week after my time away has been just really a blessing. So I know that not everyone is a natural early bird, but here's the truth. When you're struggling to stay motivated, working out or making time for your mental and physical well-being before your day gets away from you really can be a game changer. Think about it this way. In the morning, the world is a little bit quieter and the daylight actually is on your side. So studies show that if you work out, people who work out in the morning or take time in the morning to do their most important things are way more likely to stick with that routine long term. And as a bonus, it really sets you up for a more productive, more energized day. I find that when I spend that time in the morning, even though it feels like it's time added to my day or tasks added to my day, it actually gives me more energy and saves me time in my productivity throughout the rest of the day. And if you're a military spouse juggling family, work, everything in between, mornings can be your golden time. You can have a few minutes of quiet before everyone else's day begins. It's just for you. Even if it's just 15 to 20 minutes to yourself, it can be really grounding and very energizing. So whether it's stretching, journaling, reading, or just sipping coffee in peace, these moments are a gift to yourself that can help you start the day with a more calm, clear mindset and help you be more productive for the remainder of the day. And I'm not saying that you need to be up at the gym at 5 a.m., but maybe just try waking up 30 or 45 minutes earlier. Start really small. Try it maybe once a week or twice a week and just see how you feel. You might be really surprised by how much you end up enjoying that peaceful early time of the day and how much it impacts the rest of your day. So that's my first practical tip for you. And I get it if your mornings are just not realistic for you. If getting up in the morning and doing your morning routine or doing a morning workout is just not realistic to you, let's look at reframing your gym detour. We'll call it a detour in the evenings. This is my second practical tip for you. I know how tempting it is, especially when it's already dark out, to just want to go straight home after work, put on some cozy clothes, and call it a day. I get it. The drive to the gym can feel like a chore, especially when it's already pitch black outside and your circadian rhythm is telling you it's time for bed. So here's a trick that works really well for my clients, and it can be a real game changer for you. I want you to think about pairing your workout with a little reward or something that makes the whole experience feel more like a treat rather than a chore. For example, some of my clients like to save their favorite podcast or an audiobook that they really love so that they can listen to it on their gym days. So they don't listen to it other times. They save it up for the times that they are going to the gym. So maybe on gym nights, you listen to that podcast or that audiobook that you've been saving. And you can also use the gym time to catch up on an interesting show if you're doing cardio or stretching. So you can put on your phone, put on a little show that you've been really looking forward to, and make that a time that you can kind of double up on your enjoyment. Or if you're an in-person class person, maybe pick a favorite smoothie afterwards. So stop by your favorite smoothie spot, or maybe there's a spot in your gym and pick up your favorite smoothie as a reward for going straight to the gym and getting that workout in. It doesn't have to be extravagant, just something to make that trip feel worthwhile. Plus, with those added demands on your energy, this little reward can be a surprisingly motivated tool helping give you a moment of joy that's just all yours. So pairing that really nice surprise or treat, reward along with the workout is going to help build a powerful motivator and make the drive or the workout something to look forward to rather than to dread. My third tip for you, and this is big, especially when so much of our day gets spent indoors. Shorter days mean that we get even less daylight exposure than normal. We're already not getting enough sun as it is, but with the shorter days, we get even less sunlight than normal, which can actually impact our mood and our energy. You probably have heard of this seasonal affective disorder, SAD, they call it. So this is due to the fact that we're not getting quite as much daylight hours, and it really can impact our mood and our energy levels. So if you can, I want you to try and make it a priority to get outside some point during the day, even if it's just for a few minutes. And I know that some of us don't have the flexibility to take long breaks in the middle of the workday, but a quick walk or even a few minutes outside during your lunch break can make a real difference. And I want you to try to make this a non-negotiable part of your day. Just a brief pause to reset and soak up any daylight that you can get. You can even bring a friend along for a social boost, or call a friend and talk on the phone while you're sitting outside enjoying some sunlight. And if your schedule's tight, try walking meetings if that's an option. So if you have a meeting scheduled for the day, pop in your headphones and take a walk. Or park a little bit further from work to give yourself a short outdoor walk on your way in for the day. These little breaks help give us back some of that energy that we lose with these shorter days, and they can help you feel more ready to tackle whatever's next, being a crazy day ahead, or you just need a little mindset break. These can be really helpful. So getting a bit of sunshine, and even if it's cloudy out, it can still help. So getting that little bit of sunshine or just getting outside can reset your energy levels, and it can help you feel less sluggish by the end of the day, which may also impact your ability to just drive to the gym and get that workout in. So it can really build on each of these tools or tips. So start here if that's the easiest place for you to start. Just get out and get some sun during the day. All right, here's one of my favorites, and this is something that has worked really well for several of my clients during this transitional time of year. And that is to create a consistency challenge or a consistency commitment. And let me explain this challenge or this commitment. So it's really going to depend on what's going to work for you. You need to think realistically about what you can do, set yourself up for success. We've talked about this before. So look at the amount of time that we have left in this year. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 9 weeks left in the year before 2025. And think about roughly how many workouts can I commit to realistically each week. Let's say that's 2 workouts. I can realistically, with the holidays, expect about 2 workouts per week. Now, if we set 2 workouts per week, there's going to be some weeks that I can't hit that 2 workouts, whether it's because of Thanksgiving travel or holiday parties or whatever. So I need to think about this not on a weekly basis, but on a long-term basis. So even though I know I'm going to commit to roughly 2 a week, I need to give myself some flexibility. So with 9 weeks left in the year and 2 workouts per week, that's 18 workouts. Okay, so that's going to be my commitment to myself, that I'm going to commit to completing 18 workouts between now and 2025. So that's going to give me a little bit of a target to try and hit, so what I'm going to commit to completing before the end of the year. And it's going to give me a little bit of flexibility in how I choose to complete that. So it might mean that one week I only get 1 workout in, but that next week I can get 3 workouts in because there's not holiday parties planned and there's not travel planned. So it gives me a little bit more flexibility and grace in order to accomplish it, but it's something that is realistic to me. And then I'm also going to give myself a prize, a reward. So when I complete that 18 workouts before December 31st, I have something that's going to be a positive feedback for accomplishing that goal and committing to myself and following through with that commitment that I made. So that's the consistency challenge or the consistency commitment that I would encourage you to think about making between now and the end of the year. So we're not looking at how many can I complete every week. I must complete those every single week. I'm looking at the bigger picture because the holidays are crazy and we need to create a little bit more flexibility, adaptability within that period. And I don't have to tell you how important community is in military life. Sometimes it can be easy to let our own needs fall to the side when things get so busy, especially during the holidays. So I would encourage you to also reach out to a friend or a fellow spouse for that extra layer of accountability when you're completing or committing to this consistency challenge. So even if you set up a little fitness check-in or commit to the challenge together, even if it's just texting each other when you've completed each workout, having someone in your corner can have a huge impact and make a huge difference, especially when it's hard to find motivation on your own. And if you don't have anyone local, even a friend from your last duty station or a family member can be that source of support. It really helps knowing that someone is in your corner. They don't have to be physically there, but someone is in your corner rooting for you and that you're not in this alone. And it could be just as simple as checking in with each other, setting shared goals, or even meeting up for a workout once a week. A little accountability goes a really long way. Lastly, if the gym just feels too daunting some days, then we need to if the gym just feels too daunting some days, then we need to get really realistic about embracing a home workout routine as a backup plan. Sometimes the darkness, weather, or just sheer exhaustion makes getting out harder than it should be. So creating a little workout area at home can be a game changer. Having a designated workout space at home, even if it's just a small corner, can be a huge help when you're lacking motivation to get to the gym. Think about making it cozy and inviting, maybe adding a yoga mat, some free weights, resistance bands. You don't need a ton of equipment to get a great workout in. And I give out a free PCS-Proof equipment list. If you're interested in that, feel free to reach out to me and I can link it below for you as well. So it doesn't have to be a ton of stuff, just some simple equipment. Remember, this is a backup plan. This is our plan B or our plan C, or it's our contingency plan. So it doesn't need to be super involved. Even just putting up some lights or having a great playlist ready to go can make the experience feel special and intentional. And don't underestimate the power of short 15 to 20 minute workouts at home. Sometimes all you need is that quick burst of activity to feel consistent, feel like you're making progress, especially on those days when the couch is calling just a little bit too loudly. Having this home workout space ready for you as a contingency plan could be just the thing that you need to get through these first few weeks as we transition into this new daylight schedule. All right, friends, there you have it. 5 practical ways to adjust your fitness routine as we head into these shorter days of winter. It happens every single year, but every single year it feels different, or feels like we have never done this before, right? We have to transition our bodies and our brains to this new daylight cycle. So it feels like it's fresh every single year. So it's great to have these little reminders of things that we can do to help us transition into this new season. I hope that you find a little extra energy and a little extra peace by adding one or some of these tips into your day-to-day routine. Remember, it is totally normal to feel a bit thrown off by the seasonal change. It's okay if you're feeling a little bit more stressed or stretched thin or anxious. Just take a moment to check in with yourself and focus on what you need most. Remember, this is the perfect time to reflect, reassess, and adjust your routine to make it work for you. Be gentle with yourself and try just one or two of these tips. Just try one or two of these tips this week and see how it helps boost your motivation or keep your motivation up. If you found this episode helpful, please give us a follow, leave us a comment, share it with someone who might need just a little extra motivation right now. And if you have a second, please leave us a 5-star review so that this podcast gets pushed out to more women in military life who need to hear it. And we'd love to hear how you're adjusting your own fitness routine this season. So feel free to comment below on Spotify, or you can reach us on our Instagram, which is at PCS-Proof Podcast. Thanks for tuning in again to another great episode of the PCS-Proof Podcast. I will meet you right back here next week in November after the time change happens. Until then, stay strong, stay committed, and remember, no matter where in the world military life sends you, together we are PCS-Proof. Adios. And here is the legal language. This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not intended to replace professional advice. The views expressed in this podcast may not be those of the host or fitpathcoaching.com. Moreover, we are not responsible for any losses, damages, or liabilities that may arise from the use of this podcast.